subscribers and friends and the like. It's Grant coming at you from Brownsville, Texas. This is the old Greyhound station. The new one is a couple blocks over. They've turned this into like a mall, and this whole downtown neighborhood has had businesses move out, and it's just trash and graffiti and everything. It's pretty ghetto looking. I'm down here because 4 blocks over is the post office for the morning. 2.5 blocks over. I'm gonna go get the title to the van in the morning. But the main reason I wanted to make the video tonight is because I officially popped my cherry in terms of actually officially taking a shit in a bucket in a van. For real, it's been 6 years of trying to avoid that. But I went for a walk in every direction this afternoon, thinking about, having to do my businesses tonight as to where it could go. When it became time, and sure enough, it became time after dark here. And when I went for a walk this afternoon in 4-block radius all the way around, everything closes in downtown Brownsville at 8 o'clock, which I didn't realize was the time. So by the time I had to go handle my business, I got looking on the phone and it was 8:30 already. Too late, and I considered squatting in an alleyway somewhere or something so I wouldn't have to do it, but and then technically right now I didn't have trash bags, but I had an old cloth cooler that I haven't ever used for food, but one time, long time ago, that my mom gave me that actually, obviously it's a one-time only use, but I crammed that baby in the bucket and handled my business in the van, and in a way, I'm kind of proud of that because I just popped my cherry, so to speak, in 6 years of not wanting to ever do that. Trying to avoid it everywhere I went, and there was a couple times out in the desert, in the mountain and stuff like that, that you find, and I went off and squatted someplace against a tree because it's just easier to do that. You dig a hole by a tree and you squat, handle your business, and you cover the hole back up. I've done that before. In this van life kind of thing, when you're out in the middle of nowhere, you got to do that. But when you're in the city, my only other option was to go squat in an alleyway somewhere, and I thought about it, but right as I was handling my business in the van, I was looking out this window, and sure enough, a cop drove by. So I consider myself lucky that I was not, caught doing something in the alleyway that, would be bad, and not like, you get all that much privacy in the van. But that's the reality of van life, and I just wanted to point it out tonight that, it feels like starting a new chapter, so to speak, in van life, because now I've officially broken that barrier that so many people don't want to do, and honestly, I didn't want to do. That's why I tried to avoid it everywhere I could. But having said that, I ended up being in this situation because of low on fuel, for one thing, and then I got a weak battery problem, electrical problem, and everything else. This fan is going downhill between the fuel, the electric, the transmission slipping, the blown head gasket. And now they have the rear brake is actually locking and staying on. You can hear it dragging. I don't know if the whole tire back behind there is dragging or not, but you can feel resistance on it as you drive now. When I drove down nice and soft on the gas. So this fan is steps away from getting scrapped, probably. The Greyhound is a couple blocks over, and I'm considering about 50-50 chances considering taking a Greyhound ticket for $45 to Houston. I would prefer to go to Galveston, which will probably end up being $60 or something if they have a line, but the app for Greyhound did not show a destination in Galveston, Texas, but I'd prefer to go there. That way I can get ready for that resort week that I need to do, that I've already paid for, that I talked about on previous videos. But being that the Greyhound is right over there, I might consider doing that, because Galveston will be a little bit cooler now, rather than Brownsville, because Brownsville is going from saving my butt, getting out of that winter storm, being the warmest place in Texas, to now being one of the warmest places in Texas, and today it was 85 degrees. And in a van in 85 degrees, I probably damn near got heat stroke. Yeah, and I had the doors open and I had a good breeze coming through, but it's getting borderline too hot now to be in a van. Not that I'm complaining. I would take the heat over the cold any day. I love every night out here now because it's like 65 or 70, usually 70 or 75 degrees at night right now during this week, because it doesn't cool off much between the 80s during the day and then back to 70, and it's perfect. Slightly warmer weather than Hawaii, I think. It's for being in a van anyway, but you close the doors to the van at night at 70 degrees, I sleep like a baby with no sleeping bag or nothing. And that is excellent. I love van life nights like that. But I just wanted to point it out, then, ended up breaking another barrier tonight. I thought I would never, I don't want to say lower myself, but I would never get to that point where I would ever have to go in a van. But I'm also was up there parked by that tree earlier this afternoon, and Mexicans were in here offering $5, hand wash your car thing. And one of the Mexicans got close to me with my door open on this side with the little black car parked next door, and he was washing the car. And he was sneezing and coughing all over the place. I immediately, obviously, moved over here to avoid it if it is coronavirus. But I'm not feeling good ever since that time. That was 4 hours ago, and I've had heat flashes and back to cold, and like a fever. I had a stuffed nose there for a little while. I had a sore throat and a headache, and then I passed out, and I don't know if it could be symptoms of heat stroke or heat exhaustion. Right at the borderline of that, because it was pretty hot today. But it could be COVID, it could be a number of things, but I find it suspicious, so to speak, that I was fine before the guy started working on the car next door to me within 4 feet or less. And I didn't react fast enough, and now I have whatever he had, I think, because I feel the same way, sneezing and coughing a little bit earlier. I hope it's not COVID. But the point being on that is everybody wears their masks and try not to spread it to other people. I try to avoid people anyway, except for maybe 10 minutes each day that I gotta go shop and handle my business outside of the van. Usually. I try to just stay in the van and avoid people altogether. Because if I can do it, I can do it, But that kind of lifestyle may have to change now. If I do end up scrapping the van, I'm about 50-50 on it. I also want to keep it till April 12th. So it'll officially be a year that I had the van. So it was a year for $3,000 that I put in it. And that 12th is a little over a month away, a month and a week and a half or something. I think 5 weeks-ish away. So, and it's possible, if the work situation turns around and I get income some way or another, and I can keep the gas tank full maybe and move it. It will work as a van until it locks up. It'll work as a van that you can get around town with. I don't know if I had a chance taking it out of town yet. I'll have to drive it around a while and see. But that's the end of my update for this video. I just wanted to share with you what I learned tonight, and it was easier to clean up. It's not as big of a deal as you make it seem like to take a dump in any bucket in a van. Obviously the preference would be to go use a restroom someplace else, but being it was 8:30 at night, I can't in the area that I'm in, because, well, I'd have to walk probably more than the 4 blocks in some kind of direction and hope they're not still closed, because I think Brownsville has an 8 o'clock curfew for anything that's kind of non-essential. And grocery stores are about the only thing that are open till like 11, roughly. I mean, fast foods are open, but you can't go in them. Like and subscribe, leave comments, and we'll catch you on the next flip. Peace.